Tomorrow night, Vancouver actor Kristin Kreuk will be honored at the Banff World Media Festival with the Canadian Award of Distinction. And Kristin's career has come full circle. One of her very first roles was on the CBC back in 2001 in a team drama called Edgemont. And soon after that, she landed her breakout role south of the border on the Superman-inspired show Smallville. And now she's back at the CBC, of course. Returning in 2018 as the star and executive producer of the CBC drama Burden of Truth. And Kristin Kreuk joins us here in Banff. Hello, Kristin.
Hi.
So what does it mean to you to receive the Canadian Award of Distinction?
It's such an honor. It's kind of crazy. You know, it's an amazing
you're young.
thing. I am youthful. Yeah, beyond that, I mean, distinction can happen at any age.
Sure,
please.
absolutely.
But yeah, it is an incredible honor and something I didn't expect at all. And I've kind of had to grapple with this a little psychologically.
The good news is you're getting it, so you can prepare your speech in advance, right?
I did it. I prepared it.
Well done. So, Burden of Truth just finished season 2. How did you feel about how the second season went?
You know what? I was really proud of it. We came a long way. I think we learned from the first season, and we upped the adrenaline a bit, and we got to look at a really intense story and put our characters into awful situations, which is what a good drama does.
So for people who are listening who haven't had a chance to see it yet, can you bring them up to speed? How has it evolved?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, at its core, Burden of Truth is a legal drama,
right.
But it's a serialized show, and it really is about intergenerational trauma. It's about a woman that I play, Joanna, and those people around her who have become her family. And we look at different cases, but we also look at how you overcome kind of your parenting or your societal situation.
Right.
And it's kind of a sweet, sad show.
And what appealed to you about this?
I really liked the character, and I liked that we would get to tell very specific stories about issues that were important in our country.
So you've spent your entire adult life in this industry.
Yeah.
And so what keeps you excited and engaged?
Stories,
right.
People understanding new perspectives, trying to build empathy and compassion for things that perhaps we haven't looked at before. I think all of that. And the new people, on this show we get to work with young actors who are 18, 19 years old, and they're just so fresh and incredible and wise, and they see the world in a way that I never could have at that age.
And as you mentioned, you are youthful.
Yes.
But you've been in the industry for a while now, and so you've seen it change as well, right? I mean, because there's been, over the years, talk about more gender parity, more diversity.
Yes.
Are you starting to see that in practice from your perspective?
I am absolutely seeing that in practice. I mean, obviously, we're not done. We've got a long way to go. But, when I started on Smallville, we hardly had any female directors. I could have counted them on one hand. In 7 seasons that I did 22 episodes a season, we hardly had any female directors. And now there is space being made, and we're ensuring that women believe that it's a career path they can take, and making sure that they're brought up and nurtured.
And you're an executive producer on Burden of Truth as well, so you have an influence when it comes to those kind of things. And so what about the power dynamic as well? How has that changed?
Well, I think having people like me in executive producerial roles helps, especially on set. I mean, I'm not the only producer on the show. We have many, some women, some men. But I think even having me on set means that these young women especially have a person to talk to, someone who is in a position of power that they feel safe with, that also can, affect some sort of change for them. I think that is really helpful. And the more of us there are, the better that will be. And we'll be able to move story, as well as provide environments that feel safe and growthful for people.
So, I mean, you're an executive producer. You're the star of the program. You have a lot of balls in the air at the same time. I would imagine there's a lot of juggling going on. So how do you maintain that balance and make sure you're sharp for ultimately what's the most important, which is your performance?
Yeah. Well, when I'm number one on a call sheet, like I am on this show, I will focus on the producing side of it, and I will, as I get closer and closer to production, I focus more on acting. In the end, that's really important, and it's how we sell the show, and it's, I feel badly if I don't give my all.
Sure.
And I am not good enough to be able to juggle all of it and be great at all of it.
So you're at the Banff World Media Festival. What kind of business is done here from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I came here 8 years ago.
Sure.
purely as a producer and, pitched my shows and did all that. Just what everyone's doing. It's mayhem. There's just so many people. It's like crazy.
Sure.
So for me here today, though, it's more about talking about our show, how we did it, and hopefully helping other people to figure out how to create their show and provide them with answers and inspiration, perhaps.
And Burden of Truth, just renewed for season 3.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little insight into what's coming up?
Well, the writer's room has been in session for 2 weeks, so I have a sense of where we're going, but it's not something I can tell you yet.
Well done.
Yes,
as the executive producer, you have to...
No spoilers.
Exactly. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for dropping by.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
That's Kristin Kreuk, the star and executive producer of CBC's Burden of Truth. She'll receive the Canadian Award of Distinction tomorrow night at the Rocky Awards Gala.